Hi, my name is Jennifer McElroy. I'm a docent with the Chicago Architecture Center, and I'm here at Navy Pier to talk about the Ferris Wheel. Arguably, the biggest attraction on Navy Pier is the Ferris Wheel behind me. Now, Chicago has a special tie to the Ferris Wheel. It was actually invented here for the 1893 World's Fair. Now, in 1891, fair directors set out a competition to engineers, designers, and architects in an effort to out-Eiffel Eiffel Tower. You see, the Eiffel Tower was created for the Paris World Fair in 1889, and Chicago wanted to do something bigger and better. George Washington Gail Ferris Jr. was actually a structural engineer and a bridge engineer from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He entered the competition with his design for a Ferris wheel. He was inspired by water wheels that he saw doing mill work around rural Pennsylvania. In January of 1893, they gave Ferris the go-ahead, and they started breaking through cold winter solid ground in Jackson Park to lay the foundation for the Ferris wheel. Now, that only gave him 4 months to build this giant Ferris wheel. In June of 1893, the Ferris wheel opened, and people were shocked. People said it looked like a giant pinwheel. People said it looked like a spider web. They couldn't imagine how this wheel was turning. Now, the original Ferris wheel could hold over 2,000 people in one turn. It would spin twice, and according to newspaper reports, the first rotation was pretty calm, and then the second rotation, they really gunned it up and gave people a ride. Each ride cost 50 cents, which is about the equivalent to about $17 or $18 in today's money. About 1.5 million people rode the Ferris wheel during the 1893 World's Fair, and it was a financial success. The enclosed gondolas today are very different from what was originally on the Ferris wheel. These gondolas hold about 6 people, they're air-conditioned, and they are enclosed. However, the first gondolas for the first Ferris wheel were about the size of train cars or city buses. They could hold about 60 people. They had 40 seats in the middle that swiveled so you could get a clear view from all angles. Some of these gondolas even had full bands on them. Now, each one of these gondolas also had an attendant. This attendant was a man dressed very fancy uniform with brass buttons, and he would welcome people aboard, give them information, and also prevent people from kind of freaking out. The original Ferris wheel was 264 feet tall. The Ferris wheel behind us right now is 200 feet tall. So the original Ferris wheel was bigger than this one behind us. The original Ferris wheel also had the largest steel axle at the time. It was over 40 feet long. It was gigantic. And to run the Ferris wheel back in 1893, there were 2,000 horsepower steam engines that were buried in the ground and used to rotate the Ferris wheel. When the 1893 World's Fair ended, the Ferris wheel was dismantled and moved from Jackson Park, where the fair was, up to Lincoln Park. It was reassembled there. However, neighbors weren't so thrilled with this big Ferris wheel in their neighborhood. It was once again disassembled in 1904 and brought to St. Louis for their 1904 World's Fair. Thank you for joining us at Navy Pier. If you want to learn more, follow us on the socials or check us out at architecture.org.